I thought that for an opener and having a lot of players that are in completely different roles or, new players in general, it was a good day for us, a good start. In particular, I really thought that our starting group and our older players that had the experience of first game jitters and all of those things played really well. If you look at their lines and their numbers, they're really good. Once the substitution started freely and then there in the last half, I thought that we have a lot of teaching moments for the youngsters that we can show them on film, and it was an opportunity since we play Wednesday for me to play some of them. But overall, I'm pleased. I think we do need to get better defensively. I'm not pleased with how we played on the defensive end, and actually that's no disrespect to Stetson because they execute really, really well, and they do what they do, and they don't care who you are, and they're going to try to do what they do, and they really do compromise you defensively, and I thought they exposed us in some areas that'll be good for us moving forward.
What did you think of your big girls inside the young ones particularly? They're going to be asked to do some heavy lifting while you wait on Jordan to get back.
I mean, maybe we've just spent a lot of time breaking down offense and working on being better offensively, and I think we are. Don't get me wrong, I think there's a benefit for that, but I do think we've got some catch-up defensively, in particular in the paint. We don't do our work early. We let them have the ball, and then we want to guard them after they get it, and there's just a lot we've got to clean up on the defensive end. But I think I'm starting to see that certain people can do certain things. I'm enormously impressed with how Audrey's playing right now, and I think Jatari will settle in. She seems anxious when the games begin, and then as they move along, she gets better. But I do think that I'll begin to find some people that will play defense, especially when they don't play if they don't.
How did Lashann, do you think, play in her new role as a starter?
Looks pretty good to me.
You said you were pleased with the win and all that, but it sounds like you're a little disappointed. Maybe were you expecting something different, or am I reading too much into this?
No, I mean, I think that they're a difficult guard. I mean, I do think that the way they run offense and the way they execute, you have to be pretty sharp defensively, and I'm not sure that we were, especially when we got a big lead, and that's sort of a mentality that I don't care for. So, I mean, I'm not trying to we won, and we scored a lot of points, and that's good, but I also want to get better every day, and so I think there was some good teaching lessons today.
How do you think you played? How comfortable were you in this new role that you talked about, Taylor?
I mean, I think I played okay because as a player, you have good games and you have bad games, so you just got to take it as it comes.
Was today a good day or a bad day?
I guess an exceptionally good day. So.
Could have scored 2 more points to get a career high. Coach took you out. What's the deal with that?
I mean, I don't really care about the points, to be honest with you. I mean, you just got to play and try to help your team to be as successful as possible.
Ariel, I thought you had an exceptional game in all phases. Do you take pride in not just being able to shoot, but you were 6 assists as a career high, rebounding? You pattern yourself as an all phases of the game kind of player?
I would like to affect the game, I guess, in any way that I can. I just try to help my team in any way that I can, and if I'm able to do it, then I try to.
You've been on now for 3 years. What's your impression of her season, adjusting and progressing?
Kind of like you said, I've been with her for 3 years, and I think y'all are just getting the gist of what she's put in, the work that she has put in over the summer, the work that she's been putting in, more so mentally than physically, in my opinion. She's grown into the player that she wants to truly be.
Ariel, the front line players looked great early on. What areas do you think y'all need to improve on moving forward?
I would say defense and boxing out.
What did you like about Ariel, this team's opening season win today coming out?
I like that we were receptive to each other, focusing in on each other. I mean, you could go into the logistics of the game, but I think that's something that you kind of have to pay attention to because going forward, the fire will get hotter. So we need to know that we can look at each other and say what we need to say, and I think that's something that we pretty much did well today.
You said your biggest concern, at least.
But I do think that I'll begin to find some people that will play defense, especially when they don't play if they don't. Looks pretty good to me. No, I mean, I think guard. I mean, I do think that the way they run offense and the way they execute, you have to be pretty sharp defensively, and I'm not sure that we were, especially when we got a big lead, and that's sort of a mentality that I don't care for. So, I mean, I'm not trying to, I mean, we won, and we scored a lot of points, and that's good, but I also want to get better every day, and so I think there were some good teaching lessons today. Some progress with in the next week or two.
Audrey-Ann, you have Kelsey Lang's gone, and how's your role going to change? More minutes, more responsibilities?
Sorry. Obviously, it's been different for me this year. I feel like definitely minutes are going to go up, especially because Jordan isn't here until January. But I'm just here to help my team and get them to where we need to be honest. I'm not worried about my stats. I'm just trying to get more rebound, more steals, be more active in defense, and just have more energy and just be that type of player, the type of player that just brings positive energy on the court.
Ariel, Audrey's obviously going to play a lot more minutes this year. What have you seen about her improvement-wise that you think she can be a big asset to this team going forward?
I think honestly what she said, positive energy. I think a big thing for her is to not get down on herself when she messes up, and I think that's something that she's gotten over, gotten past.
Coach, a lot of talk about defense. You want to see it better, but offense looks like it's clicking pretty good. 5 players in double digits, 95 points. 2 players off the bench in double digits. How pleased were you with how you were able to?
I was pleased. I mean, I still think that we have to mentally recognize each game that we play and even each segments of games, how are people playing us and what's open. And I think that we got rather shot happy in the second half just because the shots were there. And I'm not sure that our young players understand that those same shots you're going to get after a couple of passes and you make the defense shift and maybe you have a better opportunity to get an offensive rebound. You make them play defense longer. Those are some things that I think will get better as we go along, but the freshmen were anxious today. They wanted to get their first points on the board, and we'll get better at that.
Do you even expect them to know that kind of thing at this
No.
point as a freshman?
No. So it's just a work in progress.
With the freshmen, are they where you expect them to be at the first game of the season, or where are they in terms of where you want them?
They're about where most are, I think. I mean, if you look at really good basketball teams, and I think we are a good team, that have built, classes upon classes like we have, I do think that there's a learning curve for a freshman that's pretty obvious. And you could look at other teams, their freshmen probably don't play on a real talented team also as much as some. And the one thing I do think about these freshmen is that if they would get an understanding or a commitment to an understanding of defense, and just next play, which is the hardest thing, they could help us because they have good offensive. Not only do they have skill, they have feel. And so I think it's just a matter of time before they figure out the other end, and when they do, I think they'll be a real asset to our team.
Lashann, when you score 95 points and most of your kind of criticizing yourselves, it could have been better defense, could have been better this and that. Is that a sign of expectations among you guys are really much higher than normal because you are criticizing yourselves at a time when you normally would celebrate a 35-point win?
I mean, I would say that when you have a high expectations for yourself, you always think there's room for improvement. So, I mean, every little thing that we do, we try to analyze it and see what we can do better. So I feel like, I mean, there's always room for improvement.
Audrey, with this being a new starting front court, how much has Coach stressed rebounding to you guys?
A lot. I think that's like the answer. I think with Kelsey not being here this year and our size being a little bit smaller, I think that we need to focus even more on boxing out and actually putting a body on somebody every position, because different teams do different things and we never know who's going to go rebound, so we just need to find them every single time.
And Coach, how did you like the team's effort in that area today?
I thought it was good. I thought there were segments that we could have been better, but honestly, it's shot selection. It really wasn't that they weren't trying to rebound. It's just the understanding that a good shot typically will lead into an offensive rebounding or offensive rebounding position, and we just took some quick shots that didn't allow us to. So I mean, we'll look at that. We'll get better at that.
And Coach, just in case I don't see you, and for one player, for Wednesday, how neat and cool is the 11 a.m. start, Kids Day, 20,000 loud and raucous kids providing a wild environment?
It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite days of the year, and I don't know why we got away from having it during a conference game. I think the conference schools decided that wasn't cool after we beat Oklahoma that year with all the screaming children. But it is one of my favorite days because just several reasons. I mean, it gives the young kids in the community a chance to see Texas, the university itself, and tour some areas and get a little eye-opening experience to being around the university. But then also, you hope along the way that you gain some fans and you have some kids that are aspiring to be college basketball players or playing, even play in high school. For these guys, they're still thinking about that. So you hope that you gain some fans in the middle of all this. But again, it's a reach out to the community, and it's a really important to our team.
Just a player want to comment on that day. You guys can even think out there on the court. It's so loud.
It's really exciting. I love kids, especially when they're so excited about just watching us play and different things like that. Their excitement and the looks on their faces when we do the smallest things, they just get so excited. So it's really fun to have them there and just have them screaming. Sometimes they don't even know why they're screaming, but it's just so fun having them there.
They love the countdown of the clock. That's their favorite thing.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.